Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Europe race on this April 27th, 2017. Racers are out on course. It looks like out on the world of Watopia right now, and we do have the A race and the B race are getting going. We do have the C's and the D's just about to get started today. They will be doing, it looks like, 4 laps, I believe, for the A race on the reverse Watopia hilly course today. So if you've never done any Zwift racing, we'll talk all about how to get involved into a Zwift race. We'll talk all about who all the races are out there, the teams that are out there, all that kind of stuff. But let's get right into the action with the A's as they are hammering away right now, about to head into the reverse Watopia climb. If you've ever done the reverse Watopia climb, you most likely have a good idea of exactly how incredibly difficult that climb can be. And the riders are, it looks like we got Walton, Allenby, Cartwright, Metcalf, Fleetwood, Adelton, Okabe, Szernski is in there as well, coming out of Poland. It looks like a lot of the big hitters have shown up. There is a large lead group that has separated itself a little bit from a chasing group through the Essies out on Watopia. We did show that course profile in the preview just a moment ago, but if you ever want to see the course profile out on course right now, you can see they are doing the reverse right here in the upper right hand corner. They're about to head into this really strong gradient, actually, of about, I believe it gets up into 11, even 13% at some point. I think it's 11% or so at its max as they head into the reverse Watopia climb. Walton just falling off a little bit here, though. Needs to be watch out. This is a really dangerous time to be falling off and having to put into a huge effort. Actually, I think he jumped onto a wheel of Hetherington there, and Hetherington maybe was the one that made the gap open up there. We are moving forward. Then we do see Hawksworth now up at the front riding for Team PTZ here in this A category. For the A's, just so you know, 4 watts per kilogram or higher if you want to get into an A category race. That is the assumption of what these riders can hold for the duration of their FTP, a 1 hour all-out effort. Or I think they do actually base that off of a 20-minute effort, actually, amongst the for the watts per kilogram in zwiftpower.com. As you can see on the left hand, or right above me, you can also see the live results that are powered by zwiftpower.com. We are bringing those in directly from those boys and girls over there that are doing a great job of putting together all of the results for all of the races and group rides out on Zwift. This is where things are really going to start heating up now, though, as we can see 4% gradient right now, and there's a 4-minute climb. I'll probably be doing it actually in about 3:45 to 3:50 amongst these lead riders. So Halstead here, as you can see, coming out of Norway, putting out a solid 6.6 watts per kilogram. On the right hand side, you can see all the current watts per kilogram. Szernski is here out of Poland now, throwing down up into that 9 watts per kilogram, being followed very closely by Stephen Fleetwood coming from the Vision Cycling team. You can see in the red and white in Gamba kit, representing his colors for sure here out of Poland. Peter hammering away now with Barholm from Vision Cycling Fleetwood, trying to chase that down. Allenby here coming out of the UK, one of the favorites most likely to win today, with Mr. Tim Cartwright also into that 8 watts per kilogram, trying to follow those attacks. Seeing Szernski going off the front has caused some serious chasing to go down here from a few of the riders, knowing that Peter can probably solo off the front with a few, if he wanted to. But, amongst these boys, though, having Cartwright, Allenby there, it's really just to break things up at this point, actually, knowing that these two could chase anything down most likely amongst here. We do have Kay Augustin actually here coming out of New Zealand, hammering away in this Alienware kit. I've actually been informed by them. They are running a new group ride out of that is serving actually the New Zealand area, and he ran that this morning for Innovation Cycles. So the Innovation Cycles ride, if you're looking for a group ride, that is a solid training ride. I think that hammers away at, I believe it's 3 to 4 watts per kilogram plus some sprints in there, kind of like the Scotty Weiss ride. And so Kay Augustin here looking strong here from Innovation Cycles. Does look like C. Loke also there too in that green bike with the Alienware kit on. So a lot of the teams that do jump into the world of racing will developed their own kind of in-game kit. Some of them have their stuff in game. Others have worked with Zwift to get their kit actually in game, as you can see with Barholm here with Vision Cycling, as you can see with KRT here with Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog here hanging out with Fleetwood, falling just a little ways off the back here, 9 seconds or so. I think the lead group is still establishing itself there. Arbor here following it up as well from the KRT, trying to get back with his fellow teammate there, just a little ways up, Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog for the in-game name there. But we do see quite a few innovation boys here. Augustin did tell me, Kyle did tell me that he was going to have quite a few innovation boys showing up to this race specifically to try and throw down. So having CeeLo, Richardson here and Addington, there's a lot of boys from innovation in this lead group, probably working together. I do know we did create a Discord for them as well, so they may be communicating actually to try and communicate via a third-party software. So Discord, for you guys, those of you guys who don't know out there, is a third-party Zwift software that you can communicate live actually through a microphone that's connected either to your phone or else your PC. And a lot of these teams do communicate through that in order to use the right tactics, put down attacks at the right time. So you see Richardson here now attacking up on the top, or at least maybe following Allenby with his classic. Whenever this guy has a power-up for the downhills, he's always using them. He's always jumping right on that, and that seems to be his signature move. Tends to get away a lot of times with it too as well, or at least cause a break. As you can see here, it's very difficult to stay on terms with somebody. He's definitely more of a ruler build, not a climber build. And as you can see here, using that advantage of the downhill here to get away with big watts and huge amounts of speed now does cause that break to happen between Barholm, Allenby, Strzezinski, Cartwright. And then Richardson, though, had a power-up of his own there. And power-ups are fully allowed in KISS races, just so everybody knows. It is a whatever's in-game, TT bikes or power-ups. And so you do gain those every time that you go through the King of the Mountain banner. On this course, it'll be King of the Mountain banner, Sprint banner, and the start-finish line. Actually, every time you go through a banner, you do grab a power-up if you haven't used the one that you have already, unless they are turned off in the event. In this event, they are not turned off, fully gamified, ready to go, using those random number games to try and grab an advantage here or there. And so Allenby now tried to get away. Lots of arrow power-ups, arrow power-up being the strongest one in the game. For those of you unfamiliar with that, it is definitely the strongest power-up in the game, lasting 30 seconds and reducing your drag by, I don't know what the amount is, but definitely reduces the drag on your avatar so that you can travel much faster in the game. We do see Walton has fallen off by about 30 seconds. There is an established lead group now at this point with Strzezinski, Richardson, Allenby, Barholm, Cartwright, Allington, Hawksworth, Hazelstead, and N. Hug has all gotten in there. Has CeeLo also hung it? Yep, from Innovation as well. So that's your top 10. It did just go through the start-finish banner, and Zwift Power is right on at this moment, as you can see the top 10 as they came through that start-finish banner. All right, we do have, as they are starting their next lap, one lap down for the A's, we do have a solid look at what's happening in the B category with the front of that race as they're starting to make their way up and over the top of the Watopia reverse climb as well. So in the B category, we do have B. McLew here coming from the WBR race, hammered way out of the UK here, 3.1 watts per kilogram. It looks like the initial breaks are starting to happen as they hit that first little incline. Well, not so much of a little incline, 11% gradient or so that they kicked up and over on the reverse Watopia. We do see N. Carlson from Innovation Cycle, as well as Hinton here as well. Quite a few Innovation Cycle boys showing up today in force, actually also a part of the lead group in the B race here. So good to see them showing up and throwing down for their colors here today. Verhoeven here now riding for the CTWT with that lava kit on, trying to follow a move by Lil Rodberget here, riding for the Vikings team coming out of Norway there. So we'll see if this goes anywhere, hanging on that Tron bike in their blue and black kit with, they're using the Tour of Amgen of California kit with the Tron bike there with the blue wheels, looking pretty slick. Verhoeven following very closely with Mata, and then E. Perry there, not really closing things down. I'm not sure this is going to go much of anywhere, just just yet. Maybe up over the top if they still hang on to this gap. Verhoeven, though, with an attack coming out of the Netherlands, man, 5.8 watts per kilogram. Mata now from the PTZ team in their new white kit. They're trying to follow things up, but McClue and WBR able to follow that move. 1 second is the difference. It looks like Aristegi here coming out of Spain is able to follow it. Roberts is there as well as the USA, Murray, and we do have Hinton, and then PKS Racing and Carlson. 2 seconds back is Nightingale. I'm not sure if he's going to get back on terms with these boys, but it looks like a new league group is starting to establish itself with a seriously international field. Almost every flag being a different flag actually amongst this lead group. Pretty cool to see. Riders from all over the world hammering away here from in this virtual cycling game here. And if you're unfamiliar with what is actually happening with the wattage that's up in the upper left-hand corner and all the information that's happening on the screen, let's just go over that really quickly, because some of you might be like, what am I looking at? Like, are these just avatars and people playing on controllers in this game? No, this is actual real people on real bikes from wherever those bikes are set up in the world, most of them from their homes or what you call your pain cave, your training cave at home. And as you can see here, C-Mata then coming out of Brazil, riding for the PTZ team in this kit, is putting out 209 watts, 260, 304 watts at 162 beats, 163 beats per minute, and 85 RPMs, revolutions per minute on that bike at home right now in order to push this avatar forward right now. And so all the other riders that are around him then, as you can see, he's jumping onto a wheel here, it looks like, to grab a little bit of a draft in the pack. He's putting out a lower wattage per kilogram or lower wattage than the rider at the front at 3.5, 3.8. That's dragging this whole pack along, because there's also drafting in game. So they might be putting out powers from their bikes at home and pushing these avatars along, but that's also interacting with the power that's coming from the people that are at another location in the world there, right? And so the guys that are at the front here that are taking the wind, quote unquote, out in that virtual game are actually making it so that the riders somewhere else in the other part of the world have to put out less power while they hang onto the wheel of that rider that's right in front of them. So as they come around for the lap here, the results from Zwift Power should update. There we go. We do have Beat Tabas, followed by Maley, Christensen, Nightingale, Rudnick, Farrer, as well as Anslar, Morehouse, Schaller, and Goddess, who have all made the top 10 so far in the B category right now. So we will follow the A's and the B's throughout this race right now. Those are the two feeds that we do have. We'll be able to take a look, though, at what's going on with the C category as we will have those results updated. So this is the A category we're looking at, but the C category looks like it is being led by Oshner Mardos. Let's just have that up just so you guys know what's going on with them. D. Shriver, as well as Pure, Frigo, Connolly, Daly, Jen from K. Jen, as well as S. McInnes and S. Honch in the C category, the current leaders right now. And this looks like we are looking, though, back at the front group now within the A's, though. And let's go ahead and get their results up for Allenby now, who is leading this out with Richardson, Cartwright, Loke, Hazelstead, Barholm, and then Trzynski and Hug. Fleetwood has fallen off by 30 seconds. It's still that same gap, actually, with that Fleetwood group. Does look like a large group, actually, still chasing these boys down as they make their way back toward the very decisive moments that are going to be on that reverse Watopia climb. It does look like Walton here, 3.6 watts per kilogram at the front. Not a whole lot of motivation, I believe, right now to really chase those boys down. 30 seconds out on Zwift is huge, especially when they have a group of strongmen on the front like that. Anybody who does make that lead group is going to have plenty of firepower in their legs to keep pushing the group along, and so a lot of times the gaps just continue to open up as everybody amongst that group is going to have a certain minimum that they're going to be throwing down. Since they are all on trainers, there is kind of this consistency of pace. It's kind of like you're always doing this tempo pace, especially amongst the racing, because if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards in that type of a race. And you don't get a lot of situations where cat and mouse games are played, at least in the sense of people just stop pedaling. So there's always at least some pedaling going on, and since their minimum in a faster group up front is going to be a little bit higher, definitely going to it looks like we've got a coffee bringer coming in for me. We got a little visitor here. Everybody say hello to Mrs. Coach, one of the features commonly on ZCL, being nice enough to bring me some coffee we're in the making right before the broadcast. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Coach. Really appreciate it as she makes her exit. Now we do have, it looks like now, as the boys are heading on up the reverse Watopia climb here, 5.2, 5.3 watts per kilogram coming from Allenby now with Szerzynski. Cartwright now kicking it though in that 8.2 watts per kilogram. This is the moments that in the second lap after the riders have put out a little bit of an effort already and loosened up some of the legs, thrown down a few of the matches. We're going to start seeing some of the serious attacks, and we do see the feather power up now coming from Cartwright. That does reduce your weight so that you gain 1 watt per kilogram. So you gain 1 watt per kilogram by using the feather power up there, and that did give Cartwright the ability to open up a 4-second gap from this chaser here, G. Richardson. With Hasselstead just hanging on the Barholm's wheel, he's going to have to grab that wheel real quickly as Barholm kicks it into orange numbers. Whenever you see those orange numbers on the right-hand side, you know that these riders are throwing down a crazy serious effort up into that 8+ watts per kilogram. Allenby, Cartwright, Szerzynski, Logue now trying to follow shit up from Innovation here, really trying to show up for that team today. I know that Kyle really was saying that they wanted to really show off what these boys got, so let's see if they can hang with the strongest of the strong, which would be an Allenby, a Cartwright, or Szerzynski here on the front of this race. And it looks like C. Loke out of the UK is able to grab onto that wheel at 177 beats per minute though right now. Hasselstead now 4 seconds off the back with Barholm. They're going to have to really work together at this point at a 5+ watts per kilogram to get back on terms with these boys at the front. Cartwright now letting his legs rest up as he kicks it into that 176 or so, and we are seeing 175 beats per minute. Cartwright doesn't beat much higher than that. Loke now trying to get that heart rate to come down, dropped about 4 beats now at this point. We are seeing still a steady 176 from Szerzynski, who kicks it again. It doesn't look like Hasselstead and Barholm are coming back as the attacks continue at the front of this race now. So it looks like we do have an established lead group maybe here of 4 riders at the front with Cartwright, Szerzynski, Loke, and Allenby. We'll see though, as Hasselstead is not giving up the ghost just yet. He's got these boys in his sight. Richardson then there trying to bridge the gap to his teammate there, 176 beats per minute, 370 watts. These boys did a 337 over the top of this climb last time. Now remember, if you've ever done this reverse Watopia climb, I've done this climb at, I think, a solid high 5 to even 6 watts per kilogram or so all out, and you don't hit 337 on that. But the reason being is because the drafting effect and the group effect impacts how fast they climb this. So they gain a lot of seconds. So this front group that keeps pushing each other, it's going to be extremely difficult for Richardson to come back as the riders here keep on pushing the pace at the front. Every time they kick in that 6 watts per kilogram and come around to the front, it ups the pace. And so C-Loke Allenby here now kicking again in that 5.9 watts per kilogram. They're making sure nobody is coming back. And I can tell you, if I'm in this race, I know I don't want 2 teammates together at this point in this lead group. And Richardson trying to do everything he can to put 2 of them in this lead group. Loke, though, just hanging on here, about 4 beats below what we saw him max out at so far, about that 177. Looking like he may be comfortable and sitting in, maybe even want to slow things down and allow Richardson to get back here, who's putting down that 5 watts per kilogram. Cartwright now up into 12 watts per kilogram, saying, no, nobody's coming back. I'm going to attack over the top here and see if we can cause any kind of mayhem even amongst these boys. We are seeing a drafting power up come from Loke, though, as he's trying to hang on to the wheels of the riders who are going away, and that will, I think, seal the deal amongst these 4 riders, though, as it goes out to 13 seconds. Innovation still holding on to a 4 watts per kilogram here and a spot in this front group with Szerzynski going right along with him. Cartwright now 0 watts per kilogram. That's Sagan Tuck with Allenby now going right around him. Now 2 seconds between the 2 juggernauts, though, and the front of this race. That is something you don't usually see, a gap from Cartwright and Allenby to the front of the race, though. It's out to 1 second, but Cartwright, he'll throw it down, I think, into that 6 for just a moment, grab a wheel, and try and bring that heart rate right on back down. All right, let's go ahead and see after that climb within the A's. We can see what's happening here. We've got the lead group with Loke, Allenby, Szerzynski, and Cartwright. Just a little ways back, we've got Richardson. Then Hazelstead Barholm here with the chase group of 2 trying to bring back Richardson from Innovation Cycles. But then back in the B category, they're just starting into their climb here, as you can see. So we do have, it looks like B. McGlue right along with A. Hinton from Innovation then, and C. Mata from that PTG group. It is actually a much larger group that hasn't separated too much amongst the Bs here just yet. So we are seeing, it looks like E. Perry, Hinton, PKS here. Chunky is there as well. P. Chunky here throwing down that feather power up, trying to lighten up here. As for Human then as well, 3.6 watts per kilogram. Martin really being the instigator, it looks like, at the front of the race right now. So we'll see if Mata can try and break things apart. 4.6 watts per kilogram or so. Solid effort here coming from Mata. And it looks like E. Perry be able to follow that up, though, with Verhoeven, PKS, Hinton, then, and McGlue. According to the results, the last time they came through, it was Mata leading out with Perry, McGlue, then Roberts, and then A. Hinton, PKS Racing, as well as Aristegi coming out of Spain there. S. Murray, Carlson, and P. Chunky. That was your top 10 through the last checkpoint. I think there'll be another checkpoint here very shortly, and we'll see that update. Thanks a lot again to ZwiftPower.com for all of the great tools that you guys have been providing for the results here in the broadcast. S. Murray now 6 seconds back, though, unable to hang on, it looks like, to that front group. Just grabbing the wheel of somebody who looks like Aristegi here. 1 second then is the gap between them, as they just starting to get strung out here. And you can really tell when the pressure is on. If we get a good look from the panning camera here, you can see that each one of the riders is just trying to grab the wheel that's right in front of them. There's that gap between Lil Rotberg here, coming from the Vikings team out of Norway. And it's actually opened up to 1 second as he gets right back on to that lead group. Verhoeven, though, continues to attack at 3 seconds at the front here in this B category. 2.3, 2.5 watts per kilogram. Letting it rest up a little bit on the downhill. That negative 5% gradient, and Perry there at 4.1, 4.2, trying to close that down as Mata hangs onto that wheel. And there's a large group of riders here, all getting the advantage of that draft. As we look down from the helicopter view, there is that chase group. You can see just a little off the back, just barely unable to grab that wheel. It will be Murray here. As you can see, it strings out again as they hit that 3% gradient. The guys at the front start to kick it a little bit more. And Murray, man, trying everything he can at 4.5 watts per kilogram, 155 beats per minute here to get back with Rod Berget here out of Norway. It is opened up again, and you can tell these boys, they're just trying to hold on to the draft that's right in front of them while they suffer up and over the top here as they turn the screws at the front at 176, 175 beats per minute in this B category. About a minute back, it will be Encelara here with Christensen as well from Innovation Cycles. Looks like Encelara riding for VCA Meta, and then the Nightingale is here, who will be a part of this chase group with Rudnick, and then Mally Gaddis is there with Schaller and Farrer. About 2 seconds back as the gaps start to open up as they try and make their way up and over the reverse Watopia climb. Back at the front, though, we do have the last little kick up at the top here. 5.2 watts per kilogram coming from Perry, with Roberts then at 4.7. These boys, as you can see here in the B category right above me in those results, for the B category. So when you go ahead and log into Zwift and you're like, I want to do an event or a race or a group ride, some of them within the sign up will have a little A, B, or C that you can click on to choose your group and then join. And so for the B category, all these riders have the assumption of a 4 watts per kilogram, or somewhere between 3.2 and 4 watts per kilogram. That'll be the B category. I almost said 4 watts per kilogram or less, but no, that's not true. There's a C category and a D category as well as a women's actually race today that took off, I think, 5 minutes before this race. We'll try and get enough feeds for all of you. I think we can actually set up enough feeds maybe next Tuesday so that we can grab everybody's race, but there is a women's specific race that took off right before all of this as well. We'll make sure to get some coverage of that as soon as possible. Hopefully next Tuesday we'll throw down for that. But each one of those categories then have the assumption of a certain watts per kilogram that you can hold for your F2P, so everybody has has the ability to race against somebody around their level. So in the A category, as we said, 4.0 watts per kilogram or more. As we can see here with the B category, with Lil leading it out, they are doing a somewhere between 3.2 and 4.0. In the C category, let's go ahead and take a look at their results right now. We'll have to look at them through. Let's see here. I wonder if it'll bring up the finals or not for this. We'll just bring it in with the A's. Actually, look as these boys are about to finish up their second lap with the B. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the A's, and we'll bring in the C category results though. As we are looking here, and we can see that it is Mardos and Oshner here off the front in the C category. We'll be getting an upgrade to the A's if they continue on at 4.0 or more. So that's what's nice also about ZwiftPower.com and the results that they bring in, is we can see exactly what kind of watts per kilogram that Zwift is reporting to them for the duration of these races at 3.3, 3.2, 3.0 or less. The C category being 2.5 to 3.2. Baradoff then and Hunch. Baradoff would probably drop with that 0.1 maybe by the end of the race. And we are seeing then in the C category, there's all the differences. They are all at the front here within the category limits. It does look like that the front of the race, there either was a relegation already or they dropped back, perhaps. I don't think that's what happened though. So ZwiftPower.com being awesome as it is, was able to drop that back, it looks like. We do see, it looks like an attack here in the A category now though. So let's go ahead and bring those results in, as Allenby here going off the front at we can see 5, 6, 7 watts per kilogram with 3 seconds actually between him and Peter and Loke. Cartwright now following very closely. It'll be interesting here now with C. Loke. I'm unfamiliar with this rider actually. If he can hang on with some of the head stay here in the race, as we do see Allenby here 5.3 watts per kilogram with Peter now trying to follow at 6.0, and Loke here been hanging in amongst these strongmen now. 172 beats per minute though, with Cartwright 169, Szerzynski 174, Allenby 170. None of these boys have had a very easy day so far, as I can see out on course, and so there's definitely been high heart rates all around. I don't think that it's been a day where they've been holding hands one bit whatsoever. Sometimes it does seem like there's a little bit of tactics being played, but with the amount that these heart rates have been at all the way through here, I think that there's definitely been attack after attack after attack, and it's very difficult actually out on the hilly Watopia to slow things down at all. Actually, we are seeing Allenby here now 5.6, 5.8 watts per kilogram. It just keeps on coming at you. That's the thing, is you do the reverse climb, and after that it's a quick rest, and a lot of times there's an attack actually after reverse climb, and then you cross the start finish line, you hit the Essies within like 2 minutes, and so the Essies then a lot of kicks, then you rest real quick through the sprint banner, and then you kick again. So they just haven't had any chance. You see Cartwright here 178 beats per minute again kicking, with Loke here 8.7. Szerzynski, Allenby trying to follow actually off the back, maybe suffering a little bit from that attack that he threw down before even hitting the climb here. So Cartwright maybe knowing that Allenby had already blown one of the matches there, burned something up, and maybe being able to get away here almost into the 180 beats per minute though here coming from Cartwright, man. And Szerzynski trying to follow here, but Cartwright, this is a serious effort coming from Cartwright here, knowing that he doesn't usually do anything halfway. When it comes to Cartwright and the attacks that he throws down, he makes decisive attacks, and so definitely this is one of the ones to watch out for. But it looks like Loke and Allenby and Szerzynski were able to get right back on terms with him today. So 4 laps for the B's and the A's, for the A's and the B's today, and there will be it'll be 3 laps for the C's and the D's today. So amongst the C and the D riders, they will be finishing up on this lap. We'll see if they are caught though out on course here. We do have another rider jumping in here on a pink bike. Kreider is in the house, showing up. Good to see Z Kreider. Awesome, coming out of Switzerland there, hammering away at the front, getting her moment of fame name there, I think, there for a minute. One of Z shows up to so many of the broadcasts. Good to see you out on course there, hammering away with the boys, hanging on for probably for the Queen of the Mountain as she hammers up and over the top of the climb here in that slick-looking kit and Tron bike here. Allenby here now at 4.85 watts per kilogram. Cartwright there following very closely. Doesn't look like anything's going much of anywhere between them. Richardson here in no man's land, being chased down by Metcalf. Walton 25 seconds with 1 lap to go after this climb, and across the finish line it'll be 1 lap to go. So Walton, Metcalf, Hug, Hazelstead, Aldenton, Hedgehog, and Arbor, they all got one more place to catch if they're able to work together out on course here. I did bring up the social media integration. If you've got questions, if you've got any kind of comments or anything that you would like to bring in, if you would like to interact with us through Twitter, you can tweet at us pictures, you can tweet at us comments, questions, whatever you'd like, at Z Community Live. Hi Nathan, right on. Good to see you, Heath Williamson, and Dave Knott over there as well. Good to see you, Dave. A lot of the common viewers actually here hanging out here. I do see Adam Webb, evening all. Good to see you, Adam. And Zwift saying, hey Nathan, right on. Good to see you, Zwift. Lots and lots of comments coming in here, so good to see all of you. Sean Kaysen saying, sorry, missing this one. Mrs. Kaysen got me fitting wardrobes instead. Sounds like a lot of fun. We're a lot of maybe not type 2 fun. Well, maybe it's a type 2 fun over there, Sean Kaysen, from the way that you were saying it there. But good to see you there, Sean, as well. So Cartwright now 5.0 watts per kilogram. Allenby and Loke all just coming over the top. Looks like Grupo Compacto holding hands a little bit, maybe waiting for the next attack here out on course. But we are back with C Mata now at the front of the B category. Actually, let's go ahead and bring these boys in, as it doesn't look like Allenby and the rest are going much of anywhere from each other right at this point. So it looks like Mata 4.7 watts per kilogram from that PTZ team, with Carlson from Innovation Cycles throwing down for those boys out of the UK here, with McGlue then from the WBR team. That's actually the World Bicycle Relief team in game, who run group rides and races like every hour. If you ever want to jump into a race, they're absolutely killing it. And they do these great ride reports actually after their rides that are on their group, actually the WBR group. Great races, great rides. If you're ever looking for just a quick 1 lap or 4 lap race, they do a lot of 1 lap and 4 lap races. I actually did back-to-back 4 and 1 lap the other day. It was really great to get in solid, a little bit over an hour to I think hour and a half of just full-on efforts. That 1 lap race is pretty much just an all-out threshold effort. We did it on the classic course on London. Really great organizations promoting some great events actually, and does a really good job with their post-race ride reports. Actually, definitely something to be checking out. Lots of pictures and stuff, and talking about all the different riders and all the different instigators throughout the races. And we're seeing Nathan, you don't even look like you're pushing 500 watts sitting there. Dave Knott says, thanks a lot, Dave. Appreciate it. Not today. Little Roderberg here looks like moving to the front here, positioning himself well. Actually, 171 beats per minute, though. Absolutely hammering, it looks like, at this point as far as the heart rate goes. Roberts here, 148, looking fairly comfortable out of the US of A. Aristegi here, 171, though, also pretty high on the heart rate. 175. PKS Racing here, 155. Roberts, I think, maybe the one to watch out for out of the US of A. Chunky here now, 162, with Verhoeven at 140, looking very comfortable. Definitely one of the instigators out on course. We do have an attack now, though, at the front of the race in the A category. Actually, let's get right back to those boys as we wait for the Bs to get separated on the climb as Cartwright goes. As soon as they were crossing the line, I think he was actually looking for a little bit extra RNG across the line going into this final lap for a full-on TT, as he hit that power-up and then was looking for a second power-up, most likely through the start-finish line there. He did open up a 5-second gap now and goes ahead and rests the pedal stroke real quickly there and jumps right back in to right around a threshold effort. So now Szerzynski here trying to follow up with Allenby, and Innovation here just going to look to probably hang on to the wheels now, as Augustin is in the race, a lapped rider, but in the race. And so, there's no rules on that one, boys and girls. He is a part of the race, And just like in crit racing, if a rider gets lapped and jumps back in with the, well, this isn't a crit race though, so we have to watch out for that one. I'm not sure. I'm not a race organizer. I've never seen anything being said about riders jumping back in after being lapped. He is a part of the A race as well, so definitely something that that innovation is throwing in the mix here amongst these boys here. There's probably going to get a little one of those like arms in the air. What are you doing? Get out of here! But innovation now throwing down some tactics. And Augustine goes right off the back though, real quick. Maybe just getting a little bit of a sprint in, and then say, no, I'm not going to play with you boys. I was off the back. I'm a lapped rider. I can't instigate in the race here. So it looks like Loke then kicking it back into, so doing the right thing there. It looks like here as Loke now kicks on the front though with that arrow power up and reserving a little bit, then kicks on the uphills here, and this is where you can get a little bit of a gap and get away here. Loke now putting his eggs into this basket of the Essies rather than the reverse Watopia climb. 2 seconds off the front. Allenby seeing the threat, goes right to the front, sets it at 167 beats per minute, but 5.3 watts per kilogram. A steady 400 watts coming from Allenby, absolutely killing it at the front. Cartwright working right along with him. Doesn't look like innovation's going anywhere as they keep him within 1 second now. So that attack from Cartwright didn't break anything apart. I thought he might be getting away, but not happen. Innovation kicking it again in that 6.6 watts per kilogram, though 168 beats per minute as Cartwright tries to foul here. Allenby now with an attack of his own into that 10, into those orange numbers, kicks it to 24 miles per hour now. As you can see here, Cartwright now 21. He does get a gap here pretty quickly, and as you can see, he does catch Loke and then drops it right down to 4.5, and all these boys are back together at the front. The 4 at the front is still hammering away, trying to be chased down by Richardson. Richardson here only has 10 seconds though. As you can see here, 11 seconds. Metcalf and the rest here still chasing him down. And man, he has had quite the effort for a full lap. Actually, even more than that. Maybe even 2-3 laps to hold on to this 5th place so far. But I'm not sure it's going to happen. So back at the front, though, of the B category race, we do have Verhoeven, as we were saying earlier, really trying to break things apart, and it is going to be Verhoeven, Mata, along with Hinton, and PKS just 2 seconds back here. As you can see, a lead group of 3 has established itself on the reverse Watopia climb. PKS now 1 second back with McGlue here, 2 seconds, and Carlson as well from Innovation Cycles there. Closing it down to the UK 5.8 watts per kilogram. You can see the threat now, 174 beats per minute. Knows he's got to go. Verhoeven now seeing the chase, pushes in that 5.6 as well with Mata, Hinton, and then PKS. Carlson almost back on terms with McGlue from the WBR. Roberts then 3 seconds back with Rodberget, from the Vikings team there, 3 seconds back as well. But I think that's going to be the end of it for that chase group, as these 3 on the front are even starting to break it apart amongst themselves as well. Hinton, it looks like, able to jump back on. We do have PKS there with an arrow power up. I wonder if he grabbed that through, or if he threw that down prior to the descent. I have a feeling that he threw it down prior and was able to grab another one. There are 3 places, though, to grab an arrow power-up, though, out on course. So maybe going to be grabbing another one here pretty quickly. Lots of opportunities, though. Lots of opportunities. So, but a lot of times, if you are going to use an arrow power-up on the downhill, it is smart to do so as you go through the banner, so you got another opportunity at that randoms number game to grab an extra one. We do see Allenby now at the front of the A race with another attack prior to the climb, though, actually. Throws down an arrow power-up as he got it probably through that sprint section. Cartwright trying to follow in 11 watts per kilogram, knowing that Allenby is a huge threat out on course. I think Loke was countered, and dropped for fourth place, I believe, out here today. Allenby here now 5 seconds off the front from Loke here, but Cartwright almost back on terms. Looks like it's going to be a classic UK Allenby Cartwright sprint at the end of this race, unless Allenby can get away. Cartwright able to follow with Szerzynski here now. Peter with the arrow power up of his own. Looks like they were all holding their cards really closely with those arrow power ups, and we can see 2 seconds is the difference here, though. Szerzynski here, 5.6, 6.2 watts per kilogram, almost back on terms. Cartwright fading just a little bit at the front here as he catches Allenby. Now keeping it steady as he doesn't want Peter back on terms, 6.3 watts per kilogram here. So looking back now, 12 seconds is the distance to Loke, who's just going to be able to cruise in with a solid 5-minute gap over the chasers there, it looks like, for Fleetwood for the first chaser that we can see. I'm not sure if it's actually that much. Is that actually the first chase group there with Fleetwood hammered away? Solid 5.3 watts per kilogram there, maybe getting away from some of the other boys out on course. We do see the time gaps here, and they're about to update as we are seeing Loke, Cartwright, Allenby, and Szerzynski all together, but there is a checkpoint here that they're about to go through in just a moment for the update, and we'll be able to see what the gaps are. But it does look like Metcalf, Hug, Arbor, Hedgehog, Hazelstead, and Arlington are still all together. I do not believe Fleetwood is a part of that group. Allenby now 5.7 watts per kilogram at the front. This is going to be the final attack for the win today out on course. So we are seeing it's once you lap me 4 times, I'll lead you out. Sounds good, Dave. Not you're a genius. Team Zwift. What's up, Raymond? Good to see you. Stephen Tweed saying, "Go on, Bobby. Race WBR." A little bit of cheering there for the boys in the B category. I believe that we were covering there just a moment ago as they make their way into the Essies here. The attacks are about to happen though in the A category, but a little bit of cheering for the boys from the WBR. It looks like Bobby McGlue is who he's talking about there, who's still in it. It looks like the chase there, about 7 seconds back from those front runners now. So going back to the front in the A, though, we do have Allenby, Cartwright, and Szerzynski back on terms with them. 3 of the strongest men out on Zwift that we know of. Cartwright here now kicking it back to get back on terms. Now again another kick though, and then out to nothing. Resting the legs. It looks like there's not a lot left actually. As far as the matches go for Cartwright, maybe, as that is a lot of times when you see somebody kick and then go to nothing and kick and go to nothing, that is telltale that perhaps there is a little bit of rest needed, respite needed, as you look for every moment that you can gain a little bit of energy back, a little bit of heart rate fall. And that's what Cartwright's doing. He's slowing it down at the front. Can you see this? He gets to the front and then slows it down to that 2 or so watts per kilogram. Now kicking it up again a little bit. Actually, maybe sees Allenby off the back here. Interesting what's going on here. Allenby now 8.5 watts per kilogram have to kick as he's down to 162 beats per minute. As you can see, Cartwright is not falling nearly as much as Allenby's been sitting on that draft, but then falls off the draft momentarily there. Szerzynski here, 6.7 watts per kilogram. Little bit of an attack on this uphill, 4.1% gradient as we're going to watch the finish of these A boys. The B boys are heading into the Essies right now, and there is a lead group then amongst them with Hinton, Verhoeven, Piekaz, and Mata. It looks like have established themselves off the front on the reverse Watopia climb that last time that they went through. We do see 6-second gap then, and it looks like Lil, Roberts, and McGlue are not giving up just yet. PKS not wanting to come back though. 5.2 watts per kilogram coming from him. It is still Grupo Compacto at the front of the A race. I'm not sure we're going to see. We'll probably see an attack. Usually the place that we do see this out here is over the top of the climb. There's one, see, and that's the thing about the reverse Watopia and why drafting matters so much on the reverse Watopia. With the steady flat section there, you can get a solid draft. That's why Cartwright is kicking it into this 7-8 watts per kilogram right now to try and make sure that nobody is hanging onto his wheel. He does have a 10-meter gap, actually, 11-meter gap, 1 second. That means nobody is on his wheel. If you are out of 5 meters, they get no draft on you. You can see 1 second, 2 seconds out to Allenby. Now, Cartwright, he's trying to just make it from here on out, it looks like. 8 meters. Szerzynski closing out on the 5, almost 5 meters. Once he gets within 5 meters, it is definitely a draft. Allenby, though, off the back a little bit here. 4 meters to Allenby. Everybody's got a wheel at this point, it looks like, as they come up and over the top. Nobody to able to break anybody. Will Allenby do the classic counter over the top of the reverse Watopia climb that we always see from him. A lot of times that is his race winning move. And we're seeing here 1.9 watts per kilogram coming from him. Nope. Looks like it's going to be Grupo Compacto. They're going to have a sprint for us today, boys and girls. Cartwright, Allenby, Szerzynski, all together still here as they make their way to the finish line. And I'm looking through here. We can see that 27 total. So I believe, am I correct here? Is how far? Do they have one more lap to go? I think they've got one more lap to go. I've been calling it incorrectly this entire. I was wondering about the time. Out there. And let me just double check here really quickly. And I believe they're going to have, well, I'm seeing 35.4K in the total. I believe this is the final. This is the final right here, boys and girls. 20, so that's why. I can't change in game the mileage, and so that's why the confusion is coming. I'm used to seeing the distance in something very different, but I think there was something going on with Zwift and the U key, but being unable to change the units. We do see Cartwright here with a solid attack here coming through now. 10 watts per kilogram coming from Cartwright, and I believe this is for all of the chips here out on course right now as they make their way to the finish line in this KISS Europe race. And it's going to be 10 watts per kilogram from Cartwright with Szerzynski 5.7 with Allenby now just sitting in actually as Cartwright goes for the W here. It looks like he is going to be getting away at 185 beats per minute. And with the win, Allenby now attacks Peter here. 14 watts per kilogram, able to get away from him, and then that will be your top three amongst the A. Sorry about the little bit of confusion at the end there. It was just the mileage was confusing me. I'm unable to change the in-game, and I've been using miles in my train as well as Lindsay's being silly Americans, and we logged into the game without it being Ks. So I know that a lot of times we do like to use Ks here. It is the international standard. I understand that completely, everybody, and we do see Metcalf here now looking solid here though at 5.2 watts per kilogram up at the front here with Walton 7.0 175 beats per minute. We do see Hawksworth here 5.4 hanging onto the wheel there. Oh, and it looks like there's one rider in the way just a little bit there, and he's got to get back on terms with Walton's wheel. This is going to be it for that fourth place finish out on course amongst the pack now. As we look down from the top here, we can see 9 watts per kilogram though coming from Metcalf. It doesn't look like Walton's going to be getting away as Metcalf was saving something crazy out on course as he's trying to get to the line here at 9 watts per kilogram. We got Metcalf going with Richardson from Innovation Cyclists after being off the front for quite a while. Can he come back here? Richardson and Metcalf right to the line. It looks like it's going to be Richardson though, maybe, but does Hawksworth got it? It looks like Hawksworth with one last little nip. He timed it just perfectly in the last 200 meters. Sat in the draft that entire time and was able to just nip it right at the line for that fourth place finish. Hawksworth, what an amazing spread coming from the PTZ rider. It will be 5th place for the Innovation Cycle boys. Now, I think there was one more in there actually, though, amongst them for Loke. So I will say 5th actually, then 6th, and then 7th for Richardson. It looks like, according to ZwiftPower.com right now. We do see Arbor now ramping it up with, it looks like, the Hedgehog and Addington. A couple of KRT boys battling it out. And we'll have to wait for the updates with the results here to know exactly how that turned out. It is only 5 seconds, you guys, in the B category. Let's get back into the B category racing. This is really an intense race right now between them. As we can see here in the B category, Verhoeven, along with PKS and Hinton, they've had this 4-second gap for like an entire lap heading into the final here. And what is going on? This is insane. The amount, the kind of effort that's being put out by this chase group throughout the entire lap to hold on to that 5-second gap. A lot of times if riders get away, it's just curtains, it's over. And Callison, McGlue, and Mata here have been working so well together, but it looks like PKS, Hinton, and Verhoeven maybe saving a couple of matches before they hit this point. And Mata and the rest, who are trying to make the chase, were burning match after match at the front, most likely working really well together to keep those heart rates really high. But I have a feeling that Hinton, PKS and the rest were in reserves waiting for this moment to try and win the B race out here today. So we do see Hinton, it looks like, here out of New Zealand getting away at this point with Verhoeven PKS by 15 seconds over Mata, who is now getting away from the rest of that group, though, about a 3-second gap between himself, Roberts, and McGlue. We will have the C category riders here finishing up, I believe, very shortly for their race. I do have, it looks like, Higginbottom just about to cross the line. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with this race. I believe the C category races will have already finished, some of them. Yep, we do have, it looks like, T. Cooper coming from Vision 3.2 right on the edge there with D. Shriver, as well as Thorntonson and K. Jen, as well as Bearcloth and Honch. I'm not sure where Higginbottom is sitting amongst the riders outside the top 10, but solid finish here for him, just behind and Knighton, as well as Maddie there, and Bullock. Burgess now just coming across the line here in the C category as well with Fletcher. We do have Fleetwood here from the A category finishing out at 4.3 watts per kilogram solid. I believe just outside of the top 10. We can take a quick look at the A category results as we wait for the B riders to make their way up and over the top of the climb and come in for their sprint. But Fleetwood here finishing up for the A boys. Nice job for him coming from Vision Cycle. We'll give him a ride on as he completes his race today. So back to the B-boys as they make their way up and over the top here. Here's the final attacks that will most likely be taking place. Innovation here, 6.9 watts per kilogram now. Hinton here looking for the win for these boys in the Alienware with the... Well, he's not actually using the green bike, though, today. It looks like he's swapped it out. Maybe... Foy's got a green bike, though. It's the Zwift, though. I believe... Not Concept, but the Zwift bike out there, out on course. With PKS and Verhoeven here following very closely. Innovation not able to get too much of a gap. It is out to 8 meters, so there is no draft on him at this point. If he holds on to this to the line, it will be a win for him, but it is only 1 second, and PKS now kicking it up into that 5.7 watts per kilogram, knowing that the uphill section of this climb is the portion to be watching out for. They did a 4:06 as the fastest here amongst this group, I believe, and let's see if they can better that. The fastest coming from the WBR boy, McGlue, here is off the back by about 36 seconds, though. As we can see here, Verhoeven 4.8 watts per kilogram hanging on to the gap now, as Hinton, Verhoeven, and PKS now making their way up over the top, and this will be the lead group to the finish, I believe. I don't think anybody's going anywhere from here on out as they make their way on down the climb here. As we can see here, Hinton now at the front, 4.1. Nobody really slowing down and resting the legs, though, which is always really interesting to see. There's definitely making sure they're keeping the pace really, really high here out on course, though. And so now we can see it looks like 5.3 PKS now coming out of Spain representing 2000. Is that 2K17 2017 racing? Is that what that stands for? Racing 2017? Maybe he's just starting racing in 2017, or maybe that is the team name. We'll take a guess at that. We do have one other rider in amongst the group here, it looks like. But Verhoeven here, 2.8, sitting in, 154, letting that heart rate drop. Innovation, 178, 176. Verhoeven's got a lot to work with, it looks like, as he's getting into a Sagan tuck almost, into that 0 watts per kilogram. Kicks again to make sure he hangs on. Innovation, then 3.5, 3.6 coming out of New Zealand. Then PKS now heads to the front here, as they've got 4.4, just under a K to go. Under a K to go to the finish line here, boys and girls, for the win in the B category. Roberts here hanging on, it looks like, to that 4th place, solid 26 seconds up from the other chasers here. Now as they make their way into the finish line, who's going to be the first one to go, though, in this B category? We do have Verhoeven then kicking, it looks like, first. Actually, he went just a little bit, then waited up. Hinton then, though, going, it looks like, into that 9 watts per kilogram, as it seems like PKS now at the front there, 7.7, but isn't going much of anywhere. Hinton now from that Innovation Cycles, making sure that they're grabbing that first place podium spot, perhaps with 12 watts per kilogram. Verhoeven trying to follow, but maybe went a little bit too late, as it looks like it's going to be Innovation Cycles with Hinton across the line, followed by Verhoeven, and then PKS for 3rd place today. Roberts here with that Aero Power Up, holding off McGlue, going to be hammering their way for that 4th place today, it looks like, as they're crossing the line here. McGlue now here, 24 seconds seconds, 25 seconds back. This is going to be ramping up for the finish. Roberts will be taking 4th place. We're just waiting for the results to update there up on the course profile. It looks like for above us for the ZP results. We'll see if we can get those to update for you boys and girls. But we do have McGlue here with Carlson, and then Mata. This is the attack here coming from McGlue with that feather power up, lowering that weight to get that body, that avatar moving just a little bit faster than Mata can handle, it looks like. Motocross is then in 2nd place, Glue then in first amongst that group. So Carlson then going to be the next one to come across. Oh, now Carlson not going to get across the line, perhaps. Maybe a dropout right before the line. I'm not sure. He's going to have to get moving here, as I believe he's got 0. Oh my goodness, and there goes Murray, and there goes another rider across the line, as spots are being lost second by second, as I think Innovation here had a dropout right before the line, breaks the bike right before the line, and that classic, maybe even cyclocross moment where his buddy borrowed him. You guys know that one? The meme where the buddy borrowed him the bike and then he smashes it right after the crit. Anyways, one of the best gifts I've ever seen and videos as far as the humor of it. Not so much for the bike and the buddy's bike there, but now 7.5 watts per kilogram. It does look like Innovation was able to get across the line, or maybe he had a dropout and then left the game there, maybe. But Gaddis now followed by Rudnick and then Ancelar. Ancelar going to be able to get the better of these boys, it looks like, at the line there with a sprint with Nightingale and Christensen and Rudnick. Solid race there between those boys. So it does look like it will be Hinton, followed by Verhoeven, then PKS, and then Roberts there for 4th place, followed by Mark C. Lowe. So it looks like then this is the results for today, boys and girls. Amongst the A category, we had, for the win, Tim Cartwright going off the front by 7 seconds in that last kilometer or so. 185 beats per minute to make that happen. It looks like he went up to Allenby, then followed it up 7 seconds back with Peter Szerzynski coming from Team Poland. Chris Loke, nice job for Innovation Cycles, just 9 seconds back from the win, 4.9 watts per kilogram. Meat Calves there, 121 back, wins it. Well, actually, no, I wonder here, we're seeing some time gaps that are interesting here. I believe Joe Hawksworth followed by Gavin Richardson maybe be the order there. But this is your top 15 here, boys and girls, for the A category there. Top 5 looking like it's all the way back to Joe Hawksworth, I believe, is going to be your 5th, actually. Sometimes with Power then does do an odd thing there with that 121. I'll have to wait for the official results. These are preliminary, everybody, preliminary results. In the B category then, it was Andrew Hinton, followed by Harm Verhoeven, and then PKS Racing G Team. It looks like I was followed by Harry Roberts and then Marcelo Barbosa in the 5th place, sprinting it out there with Bob McGlue to the line for the WBR. And they're all within category limits. Nice job, everybody, jumping into the right category there. For the C results, they should have already finished, as they did one less lap today. For the C category, we had Andy Oshner there at 4.0 watts per kilogram. Going to get an upgrade to the A category, Andy. So Tom Cooper will be taking it with 3.2 watts per kilogram, right on the limit of that C category, which is 2.5 to 3.2 watts per kilogram, followed by James Connolly, Sven De Schrijver, followed by Dag Thorntonson and Kaz Jen in this C category. What a battle here at the front. As you can see, it's not always the highest watts per kilogram that wins the race. Very tactical race, just as it is in real life because of that drafting effect in Zwift. As you can see then, for the D category, I do have M. Morris here making his way to the line, as I can see here. Let's see here. Actually, did I bring in the right one? For the D category, I believe I do have Morris here, making his way over to, where is my M. Morris feed? For ZP main here, actually. So there it is. Here's M. Morris making his way to the line for the D category results. Let's see if I can bring their results in here, though, as I believe he may be sitting somewhere within the top 10, I believe, within the Ds. So as we move forward here and see a few of the other KISS B and C racers making their way to the line, and then a couple other riders actually a part of a different ZOTT. I think that's a Zwift Oz TT perhaps, because there's a lot of Australians in that. Interesting. Not something I'm super familiar with, but cool to see. They're all on TT bikes, so I believe this is an individual time trial that's actually taking place out on course right now. But back to this. We're sorry, guys, getting a little distracted there by awesomeness happening in the world of Zwift. Here's the D category results. So as we can see here, it will be Gerard Tiffin, 3.4 watts per kilogram. Into the B category, Gerard, nice job, man. Nick Bullock, followed by Callum Oliver, all upgrading out of the D category. The first one across the line looks like within category limits will be Kawabi Brooks, followed by Jonathan Miller, and then Robert Anderson and Jens Christensen. Nice job in that D category. P. Lazenby and then Johnson M. Morris then making his way to the line, followed by C. Oud and R. Kelly. R. Kelly out on course with the next hit coming out here. But nice job, R. Kelly there. And it looks like so just so everybody knows, these top six. And if you're watching the replay or you're part of the top six and watching live, make sure you check out the categories for what their limits are. Nice job on your upgrade, Stuart, Jason, and Tony to the C category. In the first place there, that's a B category result, 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. Nice job. If it's your first time racing, that's awesome. Really glad that you jumped into the race, and great job on grabbing that result and getting that upgrade and knowing where you land amongst the racers. So I believe then that'll be it for the race today, everybody. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We had a really awesome race at the front of a lot of new faces, actually, new teams out on course. Really cool to see. Definitely, if you want to see more racing, want to see more group rides, we're about to start covering the Aussie E-Crit series on Zwift Community Live, like completely. So definitely want to check that out if you're getting into the Aussie E-Crit series. That's going to have full coverage. We are also integrating some new coached rides that are coming very, very soon. We are also coming down the line some new group rides that are going to be broadcast directly through here and led directly through Zwift Community Live, as well as the usual tomorrow Friday criterion. Later tonight, I believe we have Zuskana's ride as well, with her women's introductory ride, a 1.5 watts per kilogram or less ride. And so if you're a woman that's looking to get involved in Zwift riding and you're like, I don't want something that's super intimidating really fast, I just want something that's kind of chill and figure out what this is all about, Zuskana does an amazing job of communicating the entire time. And if you interact with her through chat, she watches Twitch chat, she watches her Beam chat, she watches the Facebook chat. If she interacts really well with chat, she interacts really well with chat in game. If you're a woman who's looking to get involved in a group ride, that is a really great ride to jump into. She'll be doing that tonight at 9:30 Mountain Time, 10:30 Central Standard Time USA, and so definitely want to check. I believe it's 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Mountain Time. Excuse me, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Mountain Time. So definitely check out Zuskana's ride, 1.5 watts per kilogram or less, and she keeps the group together really well. And then tomorrow we will be having Friday Criterion, as well as the Zuskana workout ride that happens at as well at the same time, 10 p.m. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. You can find a link to Zwift Community Live in the post up in the title on Zwift's Facebook. As always, we are trying to grow the Twitch channel right now, so head on over to Twitch. There's a lot of people chatting over there, so got some really cool things. We're now affiliated channel over there. A lot of really cool things opening up over there for the community to get more and more involved. And as always, great job to the racers today. You guys looked like you got a killer workout. We saw a lot of 180s, 170s to 190 beat per minute things going on. That's what it's all about. Pushing each other through cycling made social online. And as always, everybody, ride on.